Thabreakmasta here, and this is gonna be my Area no Kishi episode 8 review. Good episode. Good episode. A lot of stuff actually happened in this episode, so yeah, I'm gonna try to explain this all in short amount of time as I possibly can. So yeah, it's a good episode though. Basically, this episode we left off from the last episode where Kakadu ends up doing that running kick, the overhead kick. He to flip the kick, kick the ball in the goal and stuff. So he kicks it. And I thought, honestly, I was always saying, it's like, I always felt like the FC team was going to win because Kakadu's on that team because he's the main character and stuff. So I'm like, they're going to win and stuff. They're going to win. They couldn't go with it. They couldn't possibly do it a tie because it wouldn't make any sense. What do they do? Well, technically, here's the thing. They actually went to actually do a tie. It actually was a tie because Kakadu didn't make the ball. The game was over after that shot, basically. And so it was a tie game. So it was just like, I'm like, what? So I was wondering, like, what are they going to do? So basically, what they did is that two coaches from the opposing, the teams and stuff, in FC and SC, they ended up talking to each other, and basically, they ended up making the teams join together. Basically, what was going on, and the reason why is that is like what the FC coach is talking about is like I can't let these good players just not play because they're just so good, and we have good players too, and it's just like we don't want to have one team having all these good players not have a shot to do anything. So I don't want to see that. As a coach, I just can't accept the fact that we got you got all these good players on our team, and we got good players on our team, and you just like we can't really choose. It's not fair. So the other coach ended up agreeing. He was like, I'm gonna quit being the coach, and you're gonna be the head coach for that new team with the whole combination of both teams putting together. So you'll be the head coach of that team. He's actually the assistant, so he's still around actually, which is pretty cool because the SC team was really gonna listen to the new coach kinda. So him being present there actually helps them listen to the head coach. So yeah, so both the teams are put together. So I was like, that's a massive team because now with that we have to they have to worry about actually who's the starters because before there's the FC team only had a little bit of people, like 11 people. I mean, just enough to actually play soccer. That's all they had. So they're going to be all starters regardless of if they wanted to or not. There was no bench players. So someone got hurt. I was always wondering about that if the FC team won because I'm like, they don't have any bench players. Like someone got hurt, it's all over. That's why I was like, if Araki gets hurt, it's all over. But with them joining together, it's not all over because Oda's good. I mean, they got good players, so they don't necessarily need Araki on the field now. But of course, Araki is gonna be the starter regardless because he's just a magic player. He just knows what he's doing. So yeah, they're gonna be fighting for spots to be started. So this is gonna be a hard thing to do. So Kakaru is gonna have to find his weakness and stuff to figure out how to get through all this. And so we end up noticing freaking Araki comes back, and they're just doing training. Like at first there was turmoil. The two teams are fighting against each other because they weren't mushing up together as a team, and so they didn't want to go. They don't go into the beach, and they understand the beach kind of tactics. But the head coach know what he's doing, so they end up actually having fun. They weren't fighting so hard, and then they're worried about where's Araki at because Araki's supposed to be training with us as well. And then Araki comes, this freaking sucker's back to being little all chubby and stuff. I was like, what the heck? Now, how do you do that? Like he lost all that weight in 10 days, alright? I was like, okay. Maybe, I don't know how he did it, but maybe he did slim fast or something. I don't know. But now he's back to being fat again. It's like a shock system or something. He just shockingly got thin and then he said, go boom, and just bounced back like a freaking rubber band, basically. And I was like, what the heck? So, yeah. And then teammates were mad because frustrated about that because it's like, how the heck you gonna be chubby like that again? And they have to going against actual team soon. So they want Araki to play because he's really good and his intuition of playing is good. And Nana was like, let me take care of him. I'm gonna make him lose that weight and everything because she keep thinking the FC coach or the head coach is too soft. So he's like, I'm gonna do something. And so she ends up with Kakaru going to his house and putting him on a diet, technically speaking, because she went to his mother and was like, we need him to get on a diet. So yeah, now he's gonna get on a diet. He's gonna get back to being thin. And then before Kakaru and Nana left, Araki was like, make sure you find out your weakness because you have a hard time keep a handle on the ball when you're going and stuff. So pay attention to what your weakness is, find it out, and then work on it. And so he needed to figure out what his weakness was. But before all that was actually happening, you know, going to his house, Nana ended up getting this call, and then she had to go home, and she ends up finding these two people, and they want to recruit her for this team because they see that they're missing a piece in that team, and so she could fill in that piece, and so she was like, I don't know if I should do this. I'm not really sure to start, you know, to just start playing like that. But then, you know, the girl got kind of frustrated and flustered. Is like, well, you know, you stink. You don't want, you don't want to play soccer. And I thought you loved soccer and stuff. And if you don't have the mindset to already play soccer, then there's no point even getting you because you know you're not in the mindset to even play. And so she's like, no, wait a second, listen here, you little. I'm just kidding, but listen here. I don't know yet, but you know, at least just give me a time, basically. So she's like, you know, getting time and everything, and so she was really thinking about it, and she seemed kind of off. That's what so Kakaru started noticing, and so Kakaru started trying to figure out his weakness, and he found his weakness apparently. Nana knew it, but she didn't want to say anything. So Kakaru ends up finding his weakness is that he's a great dribbler when he goes straight forward and runs, but he pays attention to the ball too much to the point to where he ends up losing the ball because he's paying attention too much. So if he stops paying attention to it and actually try to, you know, keep his handle on the ball and just, you know, keep his eye on the player, because he looks at if they look at the ball, it's easier to steal, I guess. So yeah, so now he figures that out. So he's trying to figure out how to fix that problem. And then basically at the whole practice with all that, Kakaru's like, I would like to see you play on a team at some point because you're really good at it, and you should get back to being a active team. Of course, I would like you to be on my team, but you know, I would like you to still play. And so she's like, oh, all right. So he made she was always thinking about, she was like 50-50 about it. She wasn't really sure. She was probably just gonna stay as a coach because she didn't want to leave Kakaru and, you know, and all that stuff. But she, you know, since Kakaru said that, so she was like, all right. So she ended up taking their deal, and she's now on that team. And so, yeah. Now she's gonna be playing some soccer too. Now, what I'm wondering about is how they're gonna incorporate this with that team in her team, because her team seems to be more just female orientated. You know, it's soccer. I mean, it's kind of confusing. So I'm curious how they're gonna put much of the two, because she's the main character too. So I'm just wondering how they're gonna do all that. And so it's a pretty good show. It's going good. It's going good. I'm liking the pacing. I like the you know, how things are going. I couldn't just completely figure it out, you know. So it's a really good show. If you haven't watched it yet, you should watch it. You know, soccer. It's a soccer show. If you're not really into soccer, of course, then maybe you shouldn't watch it. But if you're into soccer, it's a good show. So yeah, it's been the Breakmaster. This is my Eri no Kishi episode 8 review. The next episode they go more of a backstory on Nana Mishima, because she's going to that team, and then, you know, there's more training going on. So hoping Araki loses some weight so he can start training too, because this is all kind of weird how he's gaining and losing weight. But yeah, it's been the Breakmaster, and until then, break out.